My passion for the Erhu started 20 years ago when I was a little girl living in Shenzhen, China. I met a wonderful teacher who was very committed to teaching me the traditional music of the Erhu. I always love the sound of the instrument as it speaks to the emotional expression of our mind. I also love the story of the Erhu's history. It was considered a foreign instrument at the time, something that struggled for years to be accepted in the ruling class of Chinese history.
Little did I know that I would become an extension of that history as my journey brought me and my Erhu to the West.
In 2006, when my family arrived in Toronto, I thought that meant the death to my Erhu music. But I was surprised to find an established Chinese community that continued to support the traditional music I played at home. But what I didn't realize was that there is a larger global music community in Toronto that encourages a wide diversity of music.
Coming from different backgrounds, I have heard and felt many stories of struggle and conflict.
Friends from war-torn countries, political refugees and broken up families, and just the personal struggles of living day to day in a new country. I approached the small world music community in Toronto and proposed that we create the Borderless Project. The idea was to use music as a way to explore the challenges of living in a world of differences.
We would come together and cross-pollinate with different ideas in compositions and our own instruments from different corners of Asia, exploring our fundamentally different backgrounds.
And learn how to come together and co-create with a common vision.
Hi everyone! Hey Amely! So the project is happening and we're all gonna bring in a different repertoire.
Okay. So it was my challenge to find these 5 eclectic musicians coming from every diverse corner of Asia. Roa from Korea plays the Gayageum, a Korean sitar-like instrument. She is a highly trained classical musician who recently has embraced the Canadian experience as a newcomer. Nour from Syria plays various percussion instruments and has experimented with diverse rhythmic genres from flamenco to classical Middle Eastern styles. She brings to the group a vibrant optimism that has weathered the toughest conditions. Heidi, originally from Hong Kong, plays various Japanese woodwinds and brings together a long history of cross-cultural collaborations, from experimental music to Japanese taiko drumming to the Shinobue. And Padideh from Iran plays the tar and brings to the group a long legacy of improvisation and celebration of differences.
When I was in Iran, I just play Iranian music. And when I immigrated here, that was a chance for me, and that was one of my goals, that I want always to to play with a musician from different countries.
Hi. How are you doing? How was the snack?
And now the project begins, with only one guiding tenet. Every individual musician brings to the group their own composition to be developed collaboratively with the others.
I brought cherries again today.
And the pressure is on. There is only 10 days until our newly formed group performs a Small World Music's first live show after a tiredly extended pandemic lockdown.
I don't have a C sharp. It's not good for my instrument because I tune CGC. If it's fast, I couldn't play it, because it's not kind of my instrument things.
I noticed that from your tradition or from Nour's tradition, you guys like E flat or like...
Yeah, we have F sharp
right
most
like,
of the time.
Like for us, we like D major.
Yeah, everybody likes D
right.
major.
I totally understand that there is definitely limitations on the instruments. The piece I've brought into the group is called The Journey. I started it with kind of a train of thoughts on the struggles of conflicts. There's a saying in Chinese, everyone has your own difficult book of life. And for me, it was challenging to be coming to a new environment in Canada and getting used to the dynamics of the so many different cultures here. And then I thought, okay, so we have a lot of conflicts in life, but eventually you have to come to a truce with yourself, right? Or else, how can you live on? How can you keep going on?
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. It's amazing, isn't it? It really is. I'm Alan Davis, founder of Small World Music, and I can't tell you how thrilled I am to welcome a real live audience to witness real live music after a year and a half. Music's power to unite and heal has always been a touchstone for Small World, and it's the kind of feeling we want to share with you this evening. The Borderless Project is something that's close to my heart because for many years I've enjoyed the exercise and experience of bringing cultures together to exchange their traditions, to explore new ground, new ideas, and create new repertoire.
the background of it. So it just speaks about all of us new to Canada, and we don't know where to go, and we left our families and our comfort zone and moved in here. So it's very touching and emotional, and the parts where it's not resolved and it's hanging, it's very beautiful. It's just like it touches you from the inside.
Now I know your story about this song, and I feel like almost crying. It's really touch and very emotional song. I really like it.
My English is not good enough to communicate, for example, very well. But when I play with them, I can communicate much more better when I want to talk to them, you know. I composed this song based on you guys, and because and that's the reason I named it. We did it together because you inspired me by your music, by your instrument. I hope you enjoy.
Oh, it's great.
It's great because you did it. Yeah.
I feel like for the call and response part, it needs a little bit more support.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe from Nour or from Zhou, maybe a easier rhythm would kind of help the flow.
Okay. And after your solo, you always, I thought that...
Play the wrong note.
Okay, yeah, but I thought that
She knows it. She right behind it.
I thought that you do it by the...
No. In the Chinese orchestral music, there's a piece called the Silk Road. Yeah, especially that syncopated rhythm, like da 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 da. And then I kind of draw my reference from hearing that piece and connecting that to this piece that's probably related to your culture. I think I learned a lot from the way how you improvise as well.
Actually, we have 8/8 rhythm pattern in Korea. Yeah, it's for me. It's like the rhythm is very Korean, but the scale is very different.
Yeah, I know.
Very interesting.
Yeah. played, I can't say that it's you are playing. I thought a Persian.
Oh.
yeah, playing. You know, the sound
nice.
is very familiar for me. That's
yeah. It's
the
believed
same
that
family,
actually the Erhu come from, the Silk Road.
Yeah.
From the northern tribe. We don't know where, but it's gotten popular and the shape of the instrument changed.
Yeah.
But I
even
think
the
we're
sound,
all
the
related.
same, yeah. That's cool.
When I was asked to be in this project, and I learned that every one of you is gonna bring out her own composition about her history. So I wanted to bring something out of my culture that is easy and fast and speaks about a story that's dear to me. And I decided to bring a song called Ween Aramallah. I grew up listening to this song, and it was written in a very old time. And this song is about the city of Ramallah, which is in Palestine. And this was written by a Jordanian musician after the Nakba happened, which is the first occupation in the 40s. So when the occupation started, people had to flee and leave Palestine to go to be refugees in around the world. And most of them went to Jordan. And people could not, again, go back to their homes or claim their property. So that was very hard on the people, and it was because Jordan has a direct border with Palestine, people in Jordan were really moved and shocked by the fact. So this was written about a lover that lost her loved one because he moved to Ramallah to go back and claim his heritage. So she's going and saying, why are you going to Ramallah again after we're together? And you're going to meet somebody nice there, and they're so beautiful in Palestine, and I don't want you to leave me. So yeah, it's about the separation. So this is the song.
His story.
Wow.
Yeah.
His story.
Wow,
Yeah.
I didn't know.
It has to be a little faster though.
Faster?
Yeah.
When I first played it, I thought it was a happy song. I think there's a moment in our emotion when we feel sad, but we can do nothing else but to express it happily. I'm not sure if you guys have experienced that before. And this is a similar feeling that I feel like coming from an outsider, I've only read about the news about Palestine and all these conflicts with Israel, with the recent war, and the ongoing displace of people having to leave their home and not being able to go back. And like somehow people still find a way to sustain, still find a way to have a normal life again. And this kind of speaks to that courage that people have. And now I know that it's a sad song. I look at this very differently when I play. Yeah.
I can understand this kind of music that has some deep story and sad story behind. The melody inside shows that the sadness.
Yeah.
And that's because the situation that we all know about that, and we all were in that situation, and we can understand it deeply.
Palestinians, and as I'm married to a Palestinian, and I know Palestinians, I lived with them all my life, very resilient, and they try and very happy. They try to be happy all the time.
Yeah.
It's a heavy story. I'm sorry to bring it. I'm sorry.
That's what's happening. It's reality,
That's
right?
a true story.
As if I know. As if I understand.
Children's songs can be very powerful, and also I think can be also very comforting. You know. So I had the idea, asking everyone to send me a couple of children's songs from their own culture. And so I just try to combine your suggestions into this medley.
We'll wait for your cue then.
Yeah.
You want to give or do you want me to?
No, I have to breathe.
Okay, I'll do it. Okay.
And then Roa, you play the A. Yeah, thank you. Song medley, and it features about 4 to 5 different melodies, from a Persian lullaby, an Arabic lullaby, Korean children's song, and even a Chinese cartoon theme song. And through this song, we like to send our love and solidarity to children across the world and in all communities in this country and around the world who are in the midst of, challenging circumstances. And this song, I think, celebrates the uniqueness of all of us and acceptance of differences.
To learn more about each of us children's song, what they grew up listening. It's very fun to see how culture can music really embedded in us when we are very, very young. And some culture will say, like, are you gonna be a musician? It's like, no, this is not a career, but you raise your kids to listen to music. You sing lullabies to your kids. And I will, if I ever have kids, I will I will play this song for them.
There's a Chinese saying called 退一步海阔天空. And it translates to, if you take one step back, you see the blue skies. Undeniably, everyone is different, and we're all unique in our own ways. It's very much similar in music making, that we're all unique, but at the same time, we need to compromise to one another.
If I don't have my own musical identity, how can it be possible to mix? How can it be possible to mix water and water? It was hard to communicate very well. I cannot explain everything in English, but we can connect and we can feel each other with music. So it makes me to have confidence.
Sometimes I should play something that it's not in my tar, it's not in the character of tar. But because I want to get along with every musician, I want to try. I always did my best to do something that we can, the sound that it came out, it's one sound. It doesn't matter that, for example, it's Iranian instrument. Now I can play with them,
I think it's important to remember that different musicians represents different communities here and little bubbles, social bubbles. And without us, I think it's very hard to break through and to be in contact with one another between different communities. And as us exploring and collaborating together, without knowing about this, we are already breaking through that bubble.
In the end, the journey of my Erhu has taken me beyond my imagination. What I originally thought was limited to the scales of a two-stringed instrument ended up opening hearts and stories of 5 people from various corners of the globe. Music won't fix the challenges which remain in a world with so much difference. But our project has shown that with compromise and a desire to come together, we can create something stronger and more beautiful by embracing our differences. I think my teacher Zhang Lei would be surprised to know that the 400-year-old history of the Erhu's journey didn't stop in China. but now continues beyond borders.